Hello grade 8 learners, hope this video finds you well. Our lesson for today is about remarkable identities. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to factorize an algebraic expression of the form a squared minus b squared, known as difference of two squares. We are going to start by checking your prerequisite. Tell me which of the following is written in a factorized form. But before that, what is a factorized form?
A factorized form is a product of monomial and parentheses or product of parentheses.
Very good. Thus, which of the following are written in a factorized form?
Example number 1 is written in factorized form because we have a product of monomial and parentheses. Example 2 and 3 are written in factorized form because they are product of two parentheses.
Very good. But what about the last example?
Example number 4 is not written in factorized form because we have a plus between the two parentheses.
That's very good. Now, I need you to complete each of the following.
4 is 2 times 2, so 4 equal 2 squared. 9 is equal to 3 times 3, so 9 equal 3 squared. 16 is 4 times 4, so 16 equal 4 squared. 49 is 7 times 7, so 49 equal 7 squared.
That's good. Now, you need to complete the following examples following the rule that's given above.
2x all squared is equal to 2 squared equal to 4. X to the power 2 is x squared, so the answer is 4x squared. 5x all squared is equal to 5 squared is equal to 25, and x to the power 2 is x squared, so the answer is 25x squared.
Very good. Now we have to do the converse.
9 is 3 times 3, so we write 3. X to the power 2 is x times x, so we write x, and the answer is 3x all squared. 36x squared is 6x times 6x, so we write 6x all squared.
Very good. Now, we need to explain what is meant by difference between two squares. Actually, the word difference stands for minus, and since it's a difference between two squares, this means that we have a minus between two squares. Let's consider the following examples and tell me which of the following are written as difference between two squares.
The first three examples are written as a difference between two squares.
Good, but how did you know that?
Because we have minus between two squares.
Very good. And what about the last example?
The last example is not a difference between two squares since we have plus instead of minus.
Very good. Now, I need you to look at this demonstrative picture. Look carefully at the waiter. What's the waiter doing? The waiter is distributing the meal equally between the couples. He gave one hamburger for the man, one hamburger for the lady, one soft drink for the man, and one soft drink for the lady. The first man took the soft drink and he drank it, so we added the sign plus. However, the lady is following a diet. She took the soft drink, but she didn't drink it, so we had the sign minus. Based on the previous picture, can you explain what has exactly happened?
The waiter distributed one hamburger for the first person and one hamburger for the second person, one cola for the first and one cola for the second, with one sign plus and the second is minus.
Very good. Thus, the rule says that to factorize the difference between two squares, or a squared minus b squared, we need to open two parentheses and then we distribute one a in the first, one a in the second, b in the first and b in the second, with one sign plus and one sign minus. Now let's try to factorize together. Example 1, x squared minus 4. Before you start factorizing, what is the first step you have to do?
I have to make sure that it is a difference between two squares. X to the power 2 is x squared. 4 is 2 squared. So it is a difference between two squares.
Very good. And now what's the second step?
The second step is to open two parentheses and start distribute. X in the first parentheses and x in the second. 2 in the first and 2 in the second, with one sign plus in the first and one minus in the second.
Very good. Let's now move to example 2. You need to factorize 25 minus x squared. What's the first step you'll be doing?
I have to make sure that it is a difference between two squares. 25 is 5 squared. X to the power 2 is x all squared. So it is a difference between two squares.
Very good. And what's the second step now?
The second step is to open two parentheses and start distribute. 5 in the first and 5 in the second. X in the first and x in the second, with one sign plus in the first and one minus in the second.
Great. Example 3. Now, let's try to factorize 9x squared minus 1. What are you going to do first?
I have to make sure that it is a difference between two squares. 9x squared is 3x all squared. 1 is 1 squared. So it is a difference between two squares.
Very good. And what's the second step you have to do?
The second step is to open two parentheses and start distribute. 3x in the first, 3x in the second, 1 in the first and 1 in the second, with one plus sign in the first and one minus sign in the second.
Very good. Let's now look at the last example. 49x squared minus 16. Again, what should you do first?
I have to make sure that it is a difference between two squares. 49x squared is 7x all square. 16 is 4 square. So it is a difference between two squares.
Very good. And what's step 2?
Step number 2 is to open two parentheses and start distributing. 7x in the first, 7x in the second, 4 in the first and 4 in the second, with one plus sign in the first and one minus in the second.
Excellent. Now, let's wrap up the idea we've explained. Today, we've learned how to factorize the difference between two squares, or a squared minus b squared. Remember, the rule says that you have to open two parentheses and to distribute equally inside these parentheses. So 1a in the first, 1a in the second, 1b in the first, 1b in the second, with one sign plus and another sign minus. Keep this rule in mind. Stay safe. Goodbye. See you.